Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're bringing some serious energy to the kitchen as we unpack the deeply technical, honestly almost magical physics behind one of the most calming household appliances in the entire world. We're going to look right past the buttons and that little spinning plate to explore the incredibly complex mechanics that actually make your microwave oven work.
Okay, this might sound a little bit like a conspiracy theory, right? But what if I told you the box heating your leftovers is actually a repurposed World War II radar weapon? I know, it sounds crazy, but it is a completely true, spectacular fact. You literally have military-grade electromagnetic technology sitting right there on your kitchen counter.
Now, just a quick heads up before we get started. This is an advanced, highly technical explainer. We're going to dive headfirst into the complex jargon, the subatomic physics, and the electromagnetic theory today. So if you feel like you need a basic overview first, don't worry. We actually posted a much simpler version of this exact topic a few days back. But if you're ready to get into the heavy science, buckle up. So here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with 1, the accidental discovery. Then 2, the 5-point science summary. 3, physics of dielectric heating. 4, magnetrons and standing waves. 5, efficiency and applications. And finally, 6, sparks, superheating, and safety. Okay, let's dive right into this. Section 1, the accidental discovery, from radar to roasting. This whole story actually starts back in 1940 with the invention of the cavity magnetron, which was absolutely crucial for World War II's short-wavelength radar. Fast forward to 1945, an American engineer named Percy Spencer is working on an active radar set. Suddenly, he notices that a candy bar in his pocket has completely melted. He realized right then that the microwave energy was generating heat. By 1947, this military tech was repurposed into the first commercial radar range. But this thing was a beast, a massive water-cooled machine that weighed 750 pounds and cost thousands of dollars. It really wasn't until 1967 that Amana introduced the popular affordable countertop model we all recognize today. Moving on to Section 2, the 5-point science summary, the core mechanics. Let's break this down into 5 spectacular points before things get deeply technical. First, a vacuum tube called a magnetron converts your standard wall electricity into high-frequency electromagnetic waves. Second, a customized metal tunnel called a waveguide channels these invisible waves directly into the cooking chamber. Third, the metal walls of the oven act as a Faraday cage, perfectly trapping and reflecting the waves so they bounce all around. Fourth, these waves actually penetrate the food, specifically targeting polar molecules like water, sugars, and fats. And fifth, the waves force these molecules to rapidly rotate, generating intense molecular friction, which we experience as heat. So the absolute crucial takeaway here is that we're not just blowing hot air onto the food, we are literally manipulating its atomic structure. Which brings us nicely to Section 3, physics of dielectric heating, exciting the dipoles. 2.45 gigahertz. That number is absolutely vital. It's the exact incredibly precise frequency that most consumer microwave ovens operate at. You might be wondering, why that specific number? Well, this frequency resides in an unregulated industrial, scientific, and medical band. But more importantly, it is brilliantly effective at transferring energy to liquid water molecules without just passing right through them. Let's look closely at exactly how this happens through a concept called dielectric heating. Imagine a water molecule. It's shaped kind of like a V, with a slightly negative oxygen atom on one side and positive hydrogen atoms on the other. Because of this, it acts like a tiny magnet, or an electric dipole. Now, because the microwave's electric field is constantly oscillating, literally changing direction billions of times per second, these water molecules are forced to rapidly flip back and forth to try and align themselves with the field. This frantic molecular rotation creates massive amounts of kinetic energy and friction. And as we know in physics, molecular vibration equals heat. Let's shift gears to Section 4, magnetrons and standing waves, controlling the chaos. Say hello to the engine of your microwave, the cavity magnetron. This is a heavy, highly engineered vacuum tube. Think about blowing air over the top of a glass bottle to create that whistling sound. A magnetron does the exact same thing, but instead of blowing air, it blows a stream of electrons over copper cavities to create an electromagnetic whistle, which is the microwaves. Let's walk through the deeply technical internal steps of how this actually works. Step 1. High voltage heats a central tungsten filament, causing electrons to physically boil off in a process called thermionic emission. Step 2. Powerful permanent magnets create a magnetic field that forces these escaping electrons to spiral outward in a circular path past highly precise copper cavities. Step 3. As they brush past the openings of these cavities, electromagnetic oscillations build up microwave energy at exactly 2.45 gigahertz. And finally,
Step 4. An antenna feeds this newly created microwave energy into a hollow metal tube called a waveguide, funneling all that chaos directly into your cooking chamber. And this brilliantly illustrates what happens the second it enters the chamber. If the waves just traveled straight through your food and hit the wall, it would be terribly inefficient. Instead, the oven's dimensions are mathematically calibrated to the exact half wavelength of the microwaves. So when the wave hits the metal wall, it reflects back perfectly onto itself. These opposing waves superimpose to create what we call a standing wave. Instead of traveling forward, the wave oscillates in place. Those high-intensity peaks literally double in amplitude, creating incredibly powerful, concentrated pockets of cooking energy.
All right, moving to section 5, efficiency and applications, inside-out cooking.
Think about putting a cold slice of pizza in a regular conventional oven. That relies on thermal conduction. Hot, dry air slowly transfers heat to the outside crust, and that heat painstakingly migrates to the center. But with dielectric heating, microwaves penetrate right through the air and about an inch to an inch and a half deep into the food itself. All those inner water molecules are excited simultaneously. People often call it inside-out cooking because the inner mass heats up alongside the surface, which drastically cuts down your cooking times. Because of this unique energy transfer, the real-life applications are highly specific. Take steaming vegetables in a microwave. It's actually phenomenally healthy because it's so fast and uses very little water. Water-soluble vitamins like vitamin C don't leach out. However, look at baking bread. Microwaves don't heat the surrounding air, so you'll never achieve the high, dry surface temperatures needed for the Maillard browning reaction. Your bread just ends up soggy and rubbery. And that is exactly why modern convection combo units use infrared lamps to blast the outside of the food while the microwaves heat the inside. Finally, we've arrived at section 6, sparks, superheating, and safety, when physics goes wrong.
Before we get into the hazards, I need to give a standard medical disclaimer. While modern devices are heavily shielded, patients with older electronic cardiac pacemakers should always consult their healthcare provider regarding potential electromagnetic interference before lingering around operating microwave ovens. We always want to put safety first.
So let's detail some of those extreme physical hazards because they are pretty intense. Heating pure water in a perfectly smooth glass can lead to something called superheating, where water passes its boiling point without forming any bubbles. The second you disturb it, like by dropping a spoon in, it can explosively boil over. Intact eggs will violently rupture because the internal steam pressure simply has nowhere to go. Also, remember those standing waves we talked about? The spaces between the peaks are called nodes, and they carry zero power. These create cold spots in your food where harmful bacteria can easily survive. And yes, because human tissue contains high amounts of water and fat, direct exposure to these waves would cause severe and incredibly painful dielectric heating inside your own body. And then, of course, there's metal. We literally all know the golden rule: no metal in the microwave. But why? Well, thin or pointed metals act just like antennas. The tines of a fork, for instance, concentrate the electric field at their very tips. This concentration gets so intense that it exceeds the dielectric breakdown of the air itself, stripping electrons and forming a highly conductive, visible plasma arc. It literally shoots lightning across your oven, which can completely destroy the magnetron. But thankfully, you are perfectly protected from all of this inside your kitchen. The entire cooking chamber is a Faraday cage. Even that glass door has a metallic mesh inside it. The holes in that mesh are tiny, much smaller than the 12.2 centimeter wavelength of the microwave radiation. So visible light can easily pass through the holes so you can see our food, but the microwave energy is completely blocked and reflected safely back inside. Engineers have developed some brilliant, everyday scientific solutions to tame this technology. To combat those zero-power cold spots caused by the standing waves, we simply put the food on a rotating turntable, making absolutely sure every part of your meal passes through the high-intensity peaks. Need to defrost something? A microwave's low power setting doesn't actually lower the wave's intensity. It just pulses the magnetron on and off via a duty cycle, giving the frozen solid areas time to absorb heat via basic conduction. And to fix the lack of a crispy crust, manufacturers use susceptor packaging, like the little sleeve on a Hot Pocket. It contains tiny metallic flakes that purposely absorb microwave energy to generate localized, intense external heat. It's just astonishing, really, to think that repurposed World War II radar technology is sitting in our kitchens performing complex subatomic physics just to heat up last night's pizza. So The next time you hear that familiar hum and watch your leftovers spinning in the glow, ask yourself, what other invisible electromagnetic forces are quietly interacting with our biology and our world every single day? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. Stay curious and keep asking how things work.